looks like it's that time of the year again. So if you haven't caught on by now, this is a vlog of sorts, but it's also sort of a response to why I think art school is worth it. So hopefully this answers some questions. I'm currently on my way to BYU, Idaho. I am going to complete my last year there. I'm currently studying illustration, and it's been awesome. It has definitely been a pretty hard 4 years, but definitely worth it, and I'm gonna tell you why. But let's jump till tomorrow, because tomorrow's moving day. So let's get to it. Welcome to Rexburg. Now, if you were to talk to me a few years ago, I probably would have never guessed I would have ended up here. Of all places, I'm attending BYU, Idaho. And there's a lot of artists online that argue that not going to college is something you can do. I say you can. There's plenty of artists that have not gone to college and been proven to be successful artists, but I feel it's essential to get some sort of foundational education. Because if you don't get any sort of foundational education, then you're very likely to make the same basic mistakes in your artwork that you could easily avoid if you just attended a few classes. So yes, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty of this video. This is why I think art school is worth it, and you should totally go. But everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Different circumstances may not permit you to go to college or to even attend maybe some basic classes about art, but I'm here to explain why it's worth it. So let's get to it. So you can watch a lot of YouTube videos and learn to become a great artist, but that doesn't make you a professional artist. And just because you go to college, that doesn't mean you're a professional artist either. So what does it take to become a good artist? I think it requires a lot of time and practice, and definitely the adage that practice makes perfect is 100% true. And I would say that art school definitely is the more convenient option, because you can spend hours and days and weeks and years watching art videos and experimenting and trying all those techniques that those great YouTube artists are teaching you, but nothing really compares to the amount of information and practice and study that you get from attending a university or community college. It doesn't really matter. Art school is pretty much art school. And then things got kind of crazy. The coronavirus hit pretty hard, and it caused the rest of the semester to be online, and it also caused my last semester to be online entirely, which kind of threw a wrench in my plans.
You can't change it.
You can't change it.
What it is.
They're gonna do it anyway, so
Right.
you know you gotta come home. That's probably the only decision there is. There's no other decision to coming home.
Right.
So
So, classes on campus are pretty much canceled. pretty empty. Yep, nobody's here. So things are pretty empty here with the coronavirus and everything. It's obviously pretty much everyone knows about it. So things have gotten pretty crazy, and there's not a lot of people on campus. There's a few people here and there, but besides that, it's pretty empty. So my whole intent for this project that I was doing with this video was I wanted it to be kind of like partially informational and partially kind of like sort of like a vlog for me to be able to look back on and to remember my last couple semesters of college, and also about my graduation. But obviously that's probably not going to happen anymore since classes are online for next semester officially, and that kind of wrecks my plans a little bit. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. About a month ago, everything was completely normal and everything was on time and on track for everything. But now things have changed, and I guess maybe for the better. So I just want to continue with this video before things get too crazy. So I guess kind of the good thing that comes out of this situation is that I am going to be able to experience full online school, and that'll be interesting for me because I'll be able to kind of get an opinion about it. If art school online can work, which I know it probably can, it just probably is going to take a lot more effort. Something huge that I have experienced while being here is being able to create friendships with a lot of different artists with different art styles and different career paths. But in doing so, it's helped me a lot to be able to receive critiques from them and to be able to create friendships that are going to last longer than your college career. They're going to go into the rest of your life, really. And to have that kind of support is huge. And it makes me feel more secure in being able to leave college, especially with things going online. It makes me feel more comfortable because I do know that I have a group of artist friends that are willing and able to give their opinions and their critiques on my artwork. But there is one main thing that I want to get across, is that college really accelerates your whole learning and growth experience as an artist. Now you can spend a lot of years and a lot of time trying to do a lot of learning online through video consumption and other things like that, but coming to college has been one of the greatest things for me. It's forced me to do a lot of projects that I really didn't want to do, but in doing so, it's exposed me to a lot of different types of mediums and a lot of different types of subjects that maybe I would have never before painted or drawn before. And honestly, coming to college is kind of like a shortcut. You get straight to the nitty-gritty. You get straight to the professors that are already professionals in their fields of work, and they're able to tell you whether or not your work's good enough. And that sounds demotivating, but it's actually motivating because as you receive those kind of critiques, you're able to be like, hey, I don't like what I'm doing and I don't like where this is going. I hate receiving this kind of critique. I want to get more of a positive critique. And so you're going to end up working harder than you ever have just to get the critique that you want. So that being said, coming to college is definitely kind of like a shortcut because you do get to talk to professional artists that already know what they're doing, that already understand the field of work that you're trying to get into. And to kind of go along with the connections that you make here, not only with professors and with friends and colleagues on campus, I've realized that being an artist is about making connections. It's about networking, which is something that I've learned a lot recently in the last few months. And it so happens that back in October last year, I actually went to a convention called CTN, or Creative Talent Network. And there you're able to talk to and get to know a lot of professional artists and even a lot of people that are already in the fields that you want to pursue. So let's jump back to Burbank, California, where I had this experience, and I'll tell you about it. So being at CTN is something that I think every artist should do. Here you can make a lot of connections with other artists and be able to get critiques on what specifically you need to work on in order to improve your art. Now, networking at some of these events is something that is highly necessary because you need the right connections in order to get the right job for you. If you already have a friend in the industry, then that's how you get in. And that's how these events work. You talk to people, you get to know them, you follow them on Instagram, and you're able to make connections that will help you later on to be able to land future jobs. And again, you can do this through social media, but it's a lot harder to be not in person because you're not face to face with an artist and you're not able to fully articulate and communicate your passions and desires for art, and they can't properly guide and direct you. Now maybe they can, but it's a lot easier in person. And when I first came here to college, I had an idea of a career, I had an idea of what I wanted to do. But after the first year or so, I realized that that wasn't exactly what I wanted anymore. And I think for me, that change in gears, the change in mindset of what I wanted to be when I grew up, which, I mean, I'm kind of grown up, I guess, but what I wanted to do as a career had changed, and I think it really did change for the better. There's a lot more opportunities for me in the career that I'm trying to pursue, and it's just a lot more fulfilling for me. And so, with all of these little experiences that I've experienced while being here at college, it's definitely made everything worth it. And I think it's worth looking into. I think it's worth deciding whether this is something that's available to you or if it's something that you'd want to even do. Understanding what kind of career that I want to pursue and understanding what kind of artwork I want to produce and what kind of artwork I can produce. It's opened up a lot of doors to possibilities that I wouldn't have gotten if I didn't ever come to college. And there's also something to consider as well, that when you're attending art school, you're gonna go through highs and lows. You're gonna hit those low points, but you're also gonna hit those high points where you feel like you can do anything. Because being an artist is a lot like being on a roller coaster. It's not always gonna be fun, but the whole result is definitely worth it. Although I'm not a big fan of roller coasters, so I don't really know why I use that analogy. So here we are, at the end of my college career. Being an art major has been one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do in my entire life. It's pushed me in ways that I never thought possible. It sounds cheesy, but it's true. I can't tell you how many days that I felt like I just couldn't draw, I couldn't do anything right, and I just felt like I would never understand some of the concepts my teachers were teaching me. But I think a lot of that has to do with the kinds of professors that you get. Some professors you click with them, and some you don't exactly click with. But I think the whole thing to consider is how much quicker and how much better of an artist will you be for attending any kind of art training. This wasn't an art school. It's definitely a school that offers an art degree. But for me, it's art school because this is where I've learned and this is where I've grown so much. There have been so many days too where I just would walk out of the class just almost in tears because I just felt like I would never amount to the kind of artist I want to be. I just felt like there was no hope for me, that I would never be able to become the kind of artist that I want to be in order to do the things that I want to do in my career. But I have since realized that that's not true, that it takes a lot of patience and effort in order to get where I want to be. And I've decided that that's the path I need to do. I need to be working hard to get to that point where I'm able to tell the kind of stories that I want to tell and create the kind of illustrations that I want to create. I'm just so grateful for this place and for what it's taught me. I'm insanely lucky and blessed to have been able to come to the school. Even how I even got here is a miracle in itself. I wasn't even considered going to any sort of college. I had considered going to a community college, but even then it wasn't really a big plan. It wasn't anything that I was prepared for. And it took me serving a 2-year mission in Peru for my church to realize that this is where I needed to be. That out of inspired thought is what brought me here. And I really am eternally grateful for that. And I think it's a big decision for anyone to make. And I think that it's definitely a decision that you can't always make alone. But I know that coming to school for me was a big deal. And I think anyone should take the time and consideration into their plans and their future. But as for me, I really do believe that art school was definitely worth it for me. And I hope that this video helped you in any way. And yeah, I think that's kind of it. This video wasn't as awesome as I wanted it to be, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I'm happy with the thoughts I was able to express. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, if anyone else out there has any extra opinions or thoughts about art school, definitely drop some comments down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. I am going to be coming out with some more videos that are more creative and a little bit more interesting, and the kind of videos that I really want to create. And yeah, I look forward to the future and what it holds, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Maybe I'll film my death. I'll actually die. This is how I die. I'm trying to cross the street. Hey, why am I filming all this? Oh, it's a street sweeper. That's why there's all this dust. I've never filmed with my camera before on a longboard. This is not a very good idea. This is a classroom. Alright, testing, 1, 2, 3 on the audio. So, in my opinion, art school is definitely worth it. Let's try it again because that was really corny. This is how I die.